Like it or not, you must know how to speak English. If you're living in South Africa, doesn't matter the color of your skin, you need to know how to speak English. And if you're gonna be in business, you need to speak English very, very well. All right, you need to develop yourself in all aspects of life, and the ability of speaking English very well is also another aspect of your life that needs your attention, that needs you to develop it, right? You might be making excuses about you never went to proper schools, you never went to multiracial schools, that's why your English is broken, that's why you don't have the accent. But if we're being honest, that is not true, because right now we have access to the internet, we have access to social media. You don't necessarily need to be in a multiracial school for you to be eloquent and fluent in English. All right, you can take a decision of teaching yourself how to speak, how to pronounce words, and train yourself how to articulate. All right. If I could share something about myself, I never went to no multiracial schools. I went to black schools. In fact, two of the schools I attended before high school were schools in deep rural areas. Okay, they're in deep rural areas in such a way that even the teachers, it was too difficult for them to teach English in English. That's how bad it was back at that time, because at that time we didn't have your TikToks, we didn't have your Facebooks, we didn't even have phones, and some families didn't even have TVs, some didn't even have electricity. All right, so there were few of us who had the privilege of having TVs at home, because that put us maybe, let's say, one or two steps forward in terms of learning English. Because I for example, I learned a lot of English from watching soapies and reading subtitles. Okay, and then I would imitate those people whenever they, after watching maybe Generations. I remember I used to imitate Dao. There's this phrase that he used to say, "Don't patronize me, don't patronize me." I used to say that a lot, and subconsciously I was learning English, but I just wasn't intentional about it at that time. But I'm just trying to paint a picture of showing you guys how bad it was back in the days, where I come from. All right. So I could speak English. My English was correct, even though I didn't have the accent. When I then moved to a high school, in high school, I met people who had gone to multiracial schools who spoke, and even today they do speak English way better than I can, or than I do. All right. So at that time, I took note of that. That okay, I'm speaking English, and grammatically it's correct, but I don't sound like these guys. So, and then at that time, I decided to start investing in developing my accent. Okay, so I started working on developing my accent and learned how to pronounce words and how to construct sentences. Even today, guys, even today, it is a journey I'm still taking. It is something that I'm still working on. I'm not perfect, and I don't think I will ever be. Okay, but if there is one thing that Vusi Temiwayo says that I really, really practice or wanna practice, is that if you decide to speak a language, speak that language very well. And I am embarking on this journey of improving my English every day, because I'm interested in public speaking. I'm interested in business. You cannot run a business if you cannot communicate. And in South Africa, if English is the most used language as a medium of communication, I would be sabotaging myself as someone who has a will of being in business, but I don't work on my English. So I just want to encourage you guys that you go out there and buy those books. own a dictionary, man. Buy an English handbook, and then consume as much English content like podcast, uh, whatever, man. There's just too much content that you can consume in English that's gonna train you and help you develop into that person that you wanna be. So thanks, guys, for tuning in.